the Legal Corner podcast series. Welcome to today's episode of The Legal Corner, a podcast which covers a variety of legal issues to keep you informed. Hosted by attorney at law Colin Dinoon and communications specialist Leonardo Torres.
So great to be back with you for another episode of the Legal Corner podcast series as we continue our journey along this part of our last season. In today's episode, we are going to be looking at Girls of Impact T&T, and our distinguished guest is Miss Reneé Atwell. Just to tell you a bit about her, Reneé Atwell is an attorney at law and Caribbean youth leader, passionate about law, international relations, and youth development. As a public defender, she advocates for a rehabilitative approach to criminal justice and the development of an effective juvenile justice system throughout the Caribbean region. Reneé is also an international relations professional with a particular interest in climate change and environmental sustainability. She is currently completing her MSc in International Relations at the University of the West Indies, where she is writing her thesis on climate finance in Caribbean small island developing states. Dedicated to the empowerment of young women and girls, Reneé is the founder and executive director of Girls of Impact T&T, a non-profit organization that provides mentorship and leadership training to young women across Trinidad and Tobago. She previously served as one of Trinidad and Tobago's CARICOM Youth Ambassadors and Dean of the CARICOM Youth Ambassador Corps, where she advocated for regional youth issues and youth involvement in CARICOM and the CSME. Reneé has advised Caribbean governments and regional institutions on youth development issues and is passionate about sustainable development in the Caribbean. Good day to you, Reneé, and welcome to the Legal Corner podcast series.
Good day. Thank you so much for having me today.
Lovely. And then we're going to get right into it. Tell us what led to the creation of Girls of Impact T&T.
No problem. So Girls of Impact is a non-profit organization that we founded officially in 2022. And it is an organization that caters to the empowerment of young women in Trinidad and Tobago, particularly those who are underserved, by giving them or equipping them rather with leadership training and mentorship so that they can achieve personal and professional development. And of course, I'm the founder of the organization, and I created the organization mainly due to the path that I would have taken as I progressed through my professional development journey. I am an attorney at law, but it was very difficult for me navigating through entering into the profession, mainly due to a lack of knowledge and resources in terms of what was my next step, what I was supposed to do, how to navigate, how to get a job even, because no one else in my family previously had studied law, had become an attorney, and I really didn't know any attorneys personally. And so as I became an attorney and I was able to expand my network and learn quite a bit of things along the way, I thought that one of the main needs for young women would be mentorship. And of course, having served as a CARICOM Youth Ambassador and the various positions I've served over the years, I've interacted with young people across the region. And I think that one of the main gaps that exists within the professional development space is mentorship. And so I decided one of the ways to fill that gap would be to create an organization that provides young women with that level of mentorship that they will need as they progress through their careers, especially those who come from households where they might be first generation or nobody else in their family would have achieved a certain level of professional progression. But also, a large part of who I am is about harnessing leadership potential so that you can contribute positively to society. I believe personally that, we were put onto this earth more than just to work and to be successful in our careers, but to make an impact in the environment that we are in. And creating an impact requires you, of course, to have a certain level of leadership capacity and potential. And so that is how we had the three components or the three main focus areas of the organization, which is mentorship, leadership, and volunteerism, where young women are able to, one, get mentorship as they progress through their careers, but also harness their leadership skills so that they can be leaders in their communities and society, as well as they can volunteer and give back to society so that they can actually contribute more positively to the space that they are occupying. So that is essentially what led to the creation of Girls of Impact.
What challenges did you face in starting this NGO?
So in terms of challenges, I would say probably three main challenges. Firstly, it would be from a technical capacity perspective, because I am the sole founder of the organization. And I have worked very largely with regional organizations, and institutions over the years. And I have been able to get a certain level of experience from working with them, but they had always had established structures in place already. And so creating Girls of Impact was basically trying to create an organization from the bottom up, basically with nothing else that was existing in place. So it was kind of difficult trying to figure out what structure I wanted the organization to have, what I wanted the management of the organization to look like. And so it was a bit challenging. I had to do quite a bit of research before I really kind of created the concept. Secondly, of course, getting committed team members, because it is a nonprofit organization, which means that the persons who serve in the organization are volunteers. And one of the main problems that you have with volunteers is the consistency of them. Sometimes person might be very excited for a week or two, and then after that time period, of course, the busyness of their life tend to come into the way. So getting people who are committed and could see the vision of the organization has also been a challenge. It still remains a challenge, even though the organization is about 2 years old now. Because of course, work would always be someone's priority, just as it is for me, of course, because I also work, which is my priority, and Girls of Impact could be like a second option, a second in line of priorities. And so that is essentially what issues you might have in terms of consistency of volunteers. But also thirdly, of course, finance would also remain a challenge as well, especially for new organizations, new nonprofit organizations. It is a bit difficult to get financing from corporate organizations, because they tend to want to see you do work over a period of time before they are willing to invest in the organization. So financial sustainability is something that we are working on. So those are the three main challenges that we face in the organization.
How has the response of the public been to your NGO?
The response from the public has been quite supportive, actually, because people have seen it as something that requires a need, and we have gotten quite a bit of support along the way, from companies, from the media, as well as from persons generally in society. As well as, of course, persons within our target audience, because, of course, they are really the ones who are in need for this particular type of program. And many times we actually get that, I wish I had this program when I was younger, because a lot of people see the merit or the value in the program and what it's able to deliver to the target audience. So the support has been overwhelming. Of course, we are still working to develop strategic partnerships with companies as well as other civil society organizations who do similar work to the work that we do. But of course, the support has really been there for the organization and its mission.
You have an initiative that is ongoing. Tell us a bit about it.
Yes. So currently we have our Accelerate Summer Mentorship Program. And it's our summer program that really caters for the personal and professional development of young women between the ages of 18 to 30. So our accelerated program is a 9 or 10 week program that really encompasses three main components. Firstly, we have mentorship. So we pair young women with mentors who are experienced professionals in their fields. So for example, you may have a young woman who's interested in accounting. We pair her with an experienced accountant so that person could guide them in terms of their professional journey and path. We also have career and personal development workshops. So young women will have the opportunity to attend various workshops on topics like leadership, personal branding, mental health, how to write a CV, how to interview successfully. Those things are there to prepare them for the workplace, but also to develop in their personal capacities in their lives. And there's also an impact aspect of it, where young women will have the opportunity to work on an impact project, which really allows them the opportunity to see how what they do can positively influence the spaces that they exist in. So that is essentially what we have going on now. Of course, we choose the July-August vacation, or as we say, summer, because of course a lot of young women, their schedule tend to be a little bit more free during this time. So we figured it might fit well into their schedules if, for example, we have it during this time. So we have 50 young women. The program is very representational. We have persons from North, East, South, West, and Tobago in the program. And we're really hoping that we can actually create this cohort of young women who can really be equipped within themselves, be prepared for the workplace, and also they can go into their own spaces and make a difference as well after they are finished with the program.
At this point, we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back. Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Reneé, before the break, you were just telling us about your ongoing initiative, and I want us to talk about the future now. Tell us, what projects do you have planned?
Well, in terms of the future, so we currently have 3 signature events or programs each year. And we try to keep it as tight as possible just because, you don't want to overdo it, especially for a small team and a new organization. So our 3 signature programs are firstly our International Women's Day event. For the first time this year, we had our Include Her Symposium. It was called Include Her because the theme of the International Women's Day this year was inclusion. And so we had an event where we catered for young women to come and to learn about how they are able to be empowered in their various spaces and what inclusion means to them. So that is usually a signature event that we have in terms of commemorating International Women's Day. Of course, we also have our Accelerated Summer Mentorship Program, which I just spoke about. And then we also have our program for rural young women. That program is usually aligned with International Day of the Girl Child, which is in October. Last year, we went to the community of Mearo. We partnered with the BPTT Mearo Resource Center down there, and we catered for the young women who were living in Mearo, Rio Claro, and environs. This year, we are still in the works of planning it in terms of which community we will serve, because we usually choose one rural community each year. However, the aim of those programs are really to equip young women, of course, who are in rural communities with the skills that they might need to make them a little bit more marketable and to assist them in achieving their professional or entrepreneurial goals. So those are our 3 main programs. Of course, we also do different outreaches throughout the year. So we usually go into schools and do talks and seminars with young women. Sometimes schools would reach out to us and they would invite us to come in and speak. So most recently, we went to Shogunas, I think it's North Secondary. We also went to Bishop Centenary in Port of Spain already as well. And we do have a lot more of those to come as well, which is for the community outreach. And we also do a hamper distribution drive in December, which is where we provide hampers to the less fortunate around Christmas time, because of course, Christmas is the time of giving, but there are lots of those who they can't afford to. And so we usually do that as well. So those are a few of the things we have lined up just to be able to engage with our target audience, their families, as well as just to provide the necessary assistance that some persons might need in their various capacities.
How can persons become involved?
All right, so we have 3 main ways that people could become involved. Firstly, they can volunteer with the organization. On our website is girlsofimpact.org. There's a volunteer tab. So there's a Get Involved tab on our website where people could click volunteer and fill out our form. We are usually looking for temporary volunteers for our events and programs, or persons to help us with registration, event decorating, setup and take down as the case might be. And we also from time to time have our permanent volunteer positions, which is like persons who actually serve on our team, like our board members as well as our executive team. Those are usually posted on our LinkedIn page. So you can follow us on LinkedIn as well, Girls of Impact T&T. Persons could also become members. Also, our membership is open for young women between the ages of 15 to 35. And they can, of course, fill out our forms. There are 2 main tiers. There's a free option and there's a paid option as well. So either way you want to do it. Of course, the perks depend on which option you choose. Can't remember the cost right now. I think it's like $150 and $250 because it's a difference in terms of the age range. So the younger ages, I think it's like 15 to 21 or so, it's about $150 per year. And then 22 to like 35 is about $250 per year. And then there's also a free option where you can still engage with the organization and our programs. And then we have our founding members, which are really open for professionals who want to invest in the organization. It's a one-time payment of $500. Open to both men and women, Trinidad and Tobago or abroad, who would like the opportunity to invest in the startup and growth of the organization. And that's another way you could actually engage with the organization as well. So those are the three main ways you can really engage in the work that we do and be involved to continue to make a difference in the young women that we serve.
Reneé, this has been a great conversation. I wish you all the best with your NGO.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to the Legal Corner podcast series. For more information, please visit us at our Facebook or Instagram pages or send your comments to thelegalcornerpodcast@gmail.com. We look forward to hearing from you.